now people are joining. So again, thank you so much for being with us today. As usual, we are so thrilled when we are joined when we're joined with our partners attending our webinars and joining us to learn new technologies. And as always, our webinars are always exciting and beneficial for partners and customers. Today's webinar, we talk about a unique topic that the industry has been busy with for maybe, I don't know, 5 years now: email fraud management, email fraud protection, impersonation, when someone tries to impersonate you, when they try to use your email address to send messages, unauthorized, unauthenticated messages in your name for fraud purposes. And we were shocked when we learned that email fraud as an industry by itself is huge. It's now in billions of dollars. I personally know companies that lost money because of that. When someone sent an email in their name to their customers and they asked them to transfer money on their behalf to a different bank account. I've seen customers that have done that, but today we will be surprised with the statistics and knowledge that the DMARC Guardian team will provide us today, especially Mr. Erasmo. He's the founder of the company, someone that wanted to support our region big time. We appreciate that. So email fraud detection, protection, whatever you want to call it, is a big thing today. And that's why we are having the webinar. And that's why we are introducing DMARC Guardian for you guys. And when we talk about email fraud protection, we don't talk about traditional email security. So this is not a traditional email gateway that checks spam or checks phishing or try to protect you from that. No, it's a different story today. And we learned over a few years that it can never be achieved properly unless you combine technology with managed services. Technology, where we do things with your DNS and email records and MX records, but you have to couple it with managed services, because the person that impersonates you could be sitting in a different continent, and the one that's receiving that email on your behalf in your name could be in a different continent. They're out of your controls or your security controls, out of your mail gateway, out of your domain protection, out of all of that. So how do you manage that? How do you control it? How do you make sure that you're not being impersonated? That's what DMARC Guardian today is going to answer you with. And it's going to be interesting. We're going to demonstrate the product, not only the presentation. I'm going to show you tools used to impersonate your personal and work emails. And we're going to demonstrate it live, show you how people could use your email and send your customers emails on your behalf. I'm not going to take a long time. Thank you for attending. Thanks to the Distilogix team and my colleagues for joining us and supporting in getting this ready. And special thanks to Mr. Erasmo Zapata from DMARC Guardian for joining us today, waking up so early in the morning to help us with this presentation and demonstration. Without further ado, I'll leave it to you, Mr. Zapata, and we're thrilled and excited to have you. Thank you for your continued support. Guys, keep it interactive. Ask questions to Mr. Zapata. You can ask questions and answers or chat. My colleague Nadir will pick these questions to answer. Enjoy the webinar. To you, Mr. Zapata.
Thank you, Ahmad, for your introduction. I'm really excited to work with Distilogix as we started this relationship a few months ago. So it is my pleasure to have this webinar with you guys. Without further delay, let me try to show my presentation here. Please let me know if you can see my presentation.
I can see it.
Awesome. Perfect. So thank you to everybody for your time for this webinar. Like Maud mentioned, the main idea is to introduce you DMARC Guardian, and what is the problem that we solve with the email protection, or the identity fraud protection that we bring to our customer. Okay, and like Bob mentioned, this is a very this is a good business for the bad actors. Okay, because as you can see, regarding the last 5 years, this is a public statistic from the FBI. They have a special department called the ICCC. Okay, in the last 5 years, the total losses that the company faced are around $37 billion. Okay, but this is not the real number. The real numbers, they calculate that is almost twice the number, something around $75 billion. Why? Because this is just a number regarding the complaints that they receive, okay? That the companies submit those complaints to the FBI. However, not everybody wants to be in those statistics. Not everybody submit their reports to the FBI because different reasons. They don't want to be part of the numbers. They don't want to be part of their statistic. They don't want to put their name in any list about losses, right? So in some cases, companies that face these losses, they don't submit the claim to the FBI or to the ICCC. So the real number is estimated to be something around $75 billion. So as you can see, is a very good business for the bad actors. And this is a problem worldwide. Okay, nobody escapes from this problem. Okay, you can see this is the top 20 international complaint countries. Okay, as you can see, you can look at the top 20, and you can see countries around the world: Asia, APAC, Middle East, South Africa, North America, South America. So this is a problem that everybody is facing around the world. And the main technology, or the main type of attack that the bad actors use is the phishing or the spoofing. Okay, this kind of attack using a corporate email domain is called business email compromise. And business email compromise is in the top 2 type of crime that the bad actor use to make this money. Okay, and this is a business that is growing. I mean, regarding more numbers, okay, you can see that the total losses increase year over year. So it's very profitable business for the bad actors, and the companies are still losing money. Okay, and the average ticket, or how much money the companies are losing, has increased over the last 5 years. As you can see, the statistic, this is also a public statistic of Verizon. Okay, the average ticket for spoofing or business email compromise problem has increased from something around $20,000, okay, that the company has lost in 2019, to something around $50,000 in 2022. So as you can see, the company has losses almost more than twice in the last 5 years regarding this business email compromise. Okay, so in some cases, companies are reluctant to adopt this kind of solution because they don't see email as a priority services. Okay, however, just when they are breached, just when they lose this average $50,000 because of a scam, because of a phishing attack and spoofing, okay, this is when they make a decision to invest in this type of solution to protect their email. Okay, and there is something important that Maud mentioned in his introduction, that this solution is aimed for the outgoing email. This is not the traditional incoming email to stop a spam and antivirus, anti-malware. This is for the outgoing email, okay? And usually the most important interest for the bad actors to use this kind of attacks is for a financial goal, okay? To steal money from companies or to steal money from people, okay? However, there are other intentions like espionage, for example, okay? If you are a partner or a distributor and you are working on a special deal for, I don't know, a huge deal in a government, probably you will try to impersonate your competitors in order to gain more information. So the goal for the types of attacks, even though the main one is a financial goal, it could be for any other intentions, okay? And there is a very typical attack called the CEO scam. And this is the attack that represents at high level what the bad actors do in order to accomplish this attack, okay? And this attack is mainly, it has mainly 4 different steps, okay? Obviously, the first one is to identify who is the target, okay? The bad actors do that looking into different social media accounts, social media profiles, different social media companies like LinkedIn and also Facebook, Instagram, because the people, we tend to post more information that we should be posting, okay? Even in our personal account, we post some information related to our job, related to our company. And the bad actors, they know that. So they look for who is the perfect target for probably a bank account or a company because they have money, okay? And they create their organization structure in order to understand who is the top guy, who is the right person in order to try to impersonate, who is the person who manage sensitive information, okay? In some cases, invoices and relationship with partners, but also they identify who are those personal assistants of those people, okay? For example, the personal assistant of the CEO, CFO, because usually the personal assistant, they manage sensitive information as well, okay? In fact, in some cases, they even manage the personal bank account information of the very important people, the CEO, the CFO. And in those cases, those persons are not well educated, not well protected, because we used to think that those persons will not be a target for this attack. But the bad actors, they target those persons, okay? So in the second step, they start creating impersonating email, okay? Or spoofing email, like we know in this technology, okay? So they start creating email, impersonating their bosses, their manager, sending email to this personal assistant or the personal assistant of the other managers, asking for a wire transfer, okay? Telling to this personal assistant, hey, Mrs. Personal Assistant of the CFO, I need your support at this moment because I have an invoice that I need to pay to Distilogix at this moment, but Maud is my best friend. I know Maud since 25 years ago, and Maud asked me for a favor to make the wire transfer to his personal account in this case, not the account that we have in our system, because he has a personal emergency and I'm his friend. I want to help him right now. So please pay this invoice to or send the wire transfer to this account, okay? And the account is not the personal account of Maud, it's a personal account of the bad actor. But what the personal assistant does is usually that they don't reconfirm that the information is accurate, okay? They don't even dare to confirm that the person who is sending the email is the right person, okay? What they want to do is to execute their action immediately, okay? In order to reply to the manager or the CEO or the CFO, hey, Mr. Boss, done deal. I already submitted the wire transfer, okay? Because they want to be the good employee who execute the action as soon as possible, okay? So in that case, the employee submitted the wire transfer to the bad actor's bank account. So in this case, the company loses money, okay? Because somebody impersonated the CFO, in this case, that I use Mod, I'm sorry, Mod, that I use you as an example, okay? But somebody impersonated Mod email and sent this fraudulent email to the personal assistant of the, I don't know, procurement department, the payment department, and this person, this analyst, should be the payment to the bad actors, okay, or the wire transfer to the bad actor. In this case, the money, the company loses money. In many cases, the employee loses their job, depending on how much the company lost in that case, okay? But in many cases, the problem is not that the company lose any certain amount of money, because it could be, I don't know, $500. It's not that bad, okay? But in many cases, the reputation is the most important part, okay? Because imagine that you have a different email domains. For example, you have an internal domain or a corporate domain, and then you use another domain to communicate with your customer and your partners, okay? And the bad actors, they know that. Now let's imagine that this is a bank, okay? The bank, they have a corporate emails, okay, to communicate with their employees, but they have a second or a third domain to send emails, marketing emails, for example, to their customer, okay? The bad actors knows that. The bad actors, what they do is they send emails using the second domain or the third domain to a potential customers of this bank, okay, pretending to be the bank and asking for, I don't know, credit card information, banking, online banking information, username and password, okay? But they are using the email that the bank used to use to send emails to their customer. In this case, the customer entered the online banking information, and the bad actors capture this information and drain the bank account of this customer, okay? Transfer all the money to his bank account. In this particular case, the bank didn't lose any money, okay? It was the customer who lost the money, okay? But what is the feeling that the customer is gonna have after that? That he was a scam because his bank sent him a spoofing email, okay, a phishing email, or an email that asked for their user and password, and then they lost their money, okay? But the bank didn't send the email; it was the bad actor. So in that case, the reputation of the bank is going to be impacted, okay? Even though they didn't lose any money, the reputation is going to be impacted in a very, very bad way. So in this particular case, the reputation is the most important aspect for the company to protect, okay? So what the industry created in order to protect the domains, okay, or the reputation of the companies. There are 3 different protocols that are protocols standard, okay, that the companies can use in order to protect their domains, okay? The first protocol, I'm not going to go very deep in every single protocol, but I just want to let you know that there are 3 different protocols. There are protocols configured in their DNS, okay? In your DNS zone, every single person, every single company can configure these 3 different protocols. The first one is SPF, okay? And SPF stands for Sender Policy Framework. And at a high level, what SPF does is to let the world knows that who is an authorized sender, okay? For example, if Distilogix, they have obviously a third-party sender who used to send marketing emails, for example, okay? And in order for this third party to be authorized by Distilogix to send email using Distilogix domain, Distilogix needs to authorize this third party using their SPF record in their DNS. So when somebody around the world, for example, receive an email from Distilogix.com, okay, they can check Distilogix DNS record in order to understand if this sender, this third party, is authorized to send email on Distilogix's behalf, okay? In that case, we authorize the sender, so we can consider that the email is valid, okay? The sender is valid because the SPF record was well configured in order to publish every single sender that is authorized by Distilogix to send emails on their behalf, okay? The second protocol is the DKIM protocol, okay? Domain key identifying method. And what DKIM does is that it allows the company to publish a public key. So you can create a two pair of key, okay? One is your private key, okay? And you are going to use this private key to sign your email, okay? And then you are going to be able to publish in this DKIM record in your DNS also the public key. So when somebody receives an email from your domain, it goes to the DNS record, download the key, calculate the signature or the hash, and then compare this hash with the hash that you receive, or the signature that you receive in your email. So if the signatures are the same, you can guarantee that the email is authentic, okay? Nobody in the middle change anything in the email, okay? However, with those two protocols, companies were not able to tell to the recipient what they are going to do if both verification fail. And this is when DMARC came to the table, okay? Domain-based message authentication reporting and conformance is what it stands for DMARC. And usually DMARC, what it does is to allow the company to tell the recipient what they need to do if both verification fail, okay? If SPF and DKIM fail. And then you have three different policies, or three different actions that we can configure in your DNS, okay? Which is none, which is like a monitoring policy. So we are telling the recipient that do not do anything, deliver the email, okay? But send me two different reports. I'm going to show you what those reports are aimed to, okay? The second policy is deliver the email, but deliver it in the spam folder or in the quarantine folder, the junk folder. So in this case, some companies used to use this policy, but they are not protected. I'm gonna tell you why, okay? And the third policy is the policy that we want to arrive soon, which is the rejection policy, is that whenever both protocols fail, do not deliver the email, because I am 100% sure that this is a spoofing attempt. It's a business email compromise email, okay? So in any case, there are different reports that the recipients send to different emails, and you can configure those emails in your DNS record. Those reports are very important for us, okay? Because those reports are the information that we use in order to build our dashboard, in order to understand what is the outgoing email behavior of any particular email domain, in order for us, with our managed services team, to help our customer to understand their outgoing email flow, to understand what are those senders that looks like a valid sender that probably are not well configured, okay? Because you need to configure this third party in the right way in order to be compliant with DMARC, okay? And we help the customer to fix their problem regarding the third party and also their DNS configuration in order to go from a non-policy to a rejection policy. In some cases, to go from not even having a DMARC record in their DNS to go to the rejection policy. So this is the flow that every email goes, okay, and every report that we receive from those recipients in order for us to create our dashboard, okay? But even though it looks pretty easy, pretty straightforward, okay, how to configure the DMARC, okay, there are certain risks. Why? Because it requires time and experience, okay? Why time? Because we cannot create or build our string to configure our SPF DMARC record just having information from one sender. For example, there are several companies that just hire a third-party sender to send postcard, I don't know, in December, okay, for Christmas, okay? But they don't send any more emails in the rest of the year. So in those cases, if you are not able to identify those seasonal senders, probably you will miss this sender when you create your configuration in your SPF. And then when the time comes in December, when this third party starts sending emails on your behalf, those Christmas postcard, those emails will not every single sender that you are working with, okay? Either internally, different departments, okay? The invoicing department, the marketing department, or cybersecurity department, but also the third party, okay? What do we offer in order to accomplish that? A support with managed service, okay? There is a high risk of blocking legit. There are best practices for DNS configuration, okay? And the risk is really high because DMARC doesn't allow any exception. DMARC doesn't have the intelligence in order to understand that any particular sender is a valid sender, is an authorized sender, but you don't have the right configuration on the SPF. So in that case, if the SPF is not well configured and you are missing one sender, those emails are not going to land the customer inbox. And then you have two impacts, okay? You have the first impact, which is that those emails are not hitting the inboxes, the customer inboxes. For example, imagine Amazon, we send the marketing in order to send the top 5 deals for today, and those emails doesn't arrive the inbox of the customer. So there's going to be a business impact because the customer are not going to buy, okay? But also you have another impact, which is that you are paying to this third party to send emails on your behalf, and those emails are not landing the invoice, the customer inbox. So you are paying for a services that you are not having any benefits, okay? So this is why it's very, very important to implement this project or these protocols, okay, using different phases in order to avoid any mistake, okay, in order to avoid impacting the legit emails, okay. What do we offer to our customer? We offer an intuitive dashboard in order to show the customer their behavior, okay, who are the senders that are sending emails on their behalf, either good and bad, okay? We support our customer with the managed services because even though, like I said, it looks like it's a very easy configuration, very straightforward, the risk to impact legit emails is very, very high, okay? We have people that are expert in cybersecurity and also in DMARC, okay? Obviously, experience is one of the most important aspects in this kind of project, okay? And we have the experience working with DMARC, okay? And flexibility. We adapt our process to our customer, okay? In some cases, the customer needs to follow a certain path in order to have this configuration done. We support the customer. We adapt to the customer process in order to start the right configuration, in order to determine who are the right sender, in order to help our customer to configure those third party in the right way to be compliant with either SPF or the DKIM in order to be compliant with DMARC at the end of the day, okay? We have different ways to do that, but we follow 5 big milestones, which is to start the audit process and the confirmation of senders, okay? This is the most important part, and this is the part that takes longer, okay? Because we need to work with every single department inside your company to understand if they really have a contract with, I don't know, MailChimp to mention something, or HubSpot, okay? In order to understand that this is a valid sender, okay? And then we start to refine the SPF record in order to have a maximum efficiency, okay? Also, we start working with those companies in order to configure the DKIM, because we want, at the end of the day, both protocol configured. In some cases, it's not an option because those third-party charge our customers for any particular services, but we will always try to configure both protocols, okay? And then when we have a certain certainty that we have almost everything covered, then we start going from a non-policy to a quarantine policies and keep monitoring this behavior, okay? And then when we are 100% sure that we have everything covered, then we move from a quarantine process, the quarantine policy, to a rejection policy, okay? But people used to ask me, hey, Erasmo, what happened when we reach rejection policy? I mean, is that it? The answer is no. Because we can constantly monitor the customer behavior, okay? We check, obviously, the statistic with the customer. We have follow-up meetings every single month in order to show the customer what happened in their email flow. We monitor constantly if the customer changed their DNS record and what is the impact of the DNS record change. Because we usually ask the customer, hey, let me know when you're going to do any change, but customer, they don't usually send us an email or notify us when they are going to do any change on their DNS. And we have, in some cases, detected some changes that had a bad impact in the DNS flow, and we proactively notify the customer with that we detected these changes, okay? We also check the lookalike domain, the forensic report, and also every time that we detect a change in a sender, we notify the customer and we start over. We start from scratch. Why? Because when you remove a sender and when you add a new sender, you need to start the process again, okay? So even though we reach rejection policy in any particular day or any particular month, we don't stop. We continue monitoring the services for the customer and let them know if we identify or we detect something that has an impact in their email flow, okay? This is our dashboard. I'm going to switch to a demo to show you our dashboard, but I would like to make a stop and ask Nadir or Maud if we have any question in our chat, in our question and answer tab, or we can move forward.
For now, we only had one question. It was about if they're going to be a recording after this. So we take good care of that. I think we can continue for now. But I encourage everyone to ask us questions, to keep this interactive. If you have anything in mind, we will be more than happy to give you answers and to talk to you about it.
If you allow me, Erasmo, I have a question, Erasmo, if you allow me.
Go ahead.
For the clarification. So as I understand, for any organization to start protecting themselves and their domains from email fraud, that could be by someone impersonating their domains or trying to use their name to commit fraud and crimes. So to do that, there is a technology piece. And the technology piece is where we configure records such as MX records, such as the SFP. And the SFP record defines which email servers are authorized to send email on behalf of my domain. For example, our domain is Distilogix. We're on Google. So our SPF record tells the recipient whoever receives email from our site tells them that these are the Google servers that are authorized to send email in the name of Distilogix.com. But if you receive email from Distilogix.com that comes, I don't know, from Finland, and it is from a company called XYZ, the server, then it means that that server is not authorized to send on behalf of Distilogix. So we expect the recipient, the person that receives the email, to verify the SPF record and hence find that this server is not authorized, I cannot accept the email. That's one piece of technology. The second piece of technology is the DKIM records, where we define kind of a digital signature for the email. We sign our emails. So we say, oh, this is signed by Distilogix. And again, we expect the recipient, whoever receives that email, to verify that this email is signed by Distilogix through the protocol of DKIM, or the record of DKIM. Now, the challenge I've seen with customers is that people did that, but yet they were still also subject to fraud. So that's why we learned over the last 5 years that it's not technology only. It can never be in technology only. It is someone in maybe China sending to someone in, I don't know, Brazil on your behalf, sending email on your behalf. They're all out of your controls, out of your email gateway, out of your security checks. They're absolutely out of you. The sender and the receiver, how do you know about that? That's why we learned that it has to be coupled with managed services. And that's what I've seen our customers struggle with long time ago. And today, I think you're going to show us also the tool that spoofs email and like impersonates email. So is that right? So can people really just do it by themselves, or would managed services be an important piece of the solution?
No, awesome. Thank you for the question, Maud. And then I'm gonna show you, okay, what people can do, how it works. Okay, but you are right. Okay, there is a technology. There are a standard. Okay, SPF, DKIM, and DMARC, and those standards are configured by the customer by themselves in their DNS record. Okay, they can do that right now. Every single person who is in this presentation, they can go immediately to configure those 3 protocols in their DNS record. However, if they made a mistake configuring those protocols, they can impact legit emails. And this is the most important part. I mean, I always important part. The most important part is doing that. Do not impact your legit emails, because you can cause a company mode that relies on email in order to make money. Okay, imagine a businesses. So that's the most important part. Do not attempt to make the configuration that put at risk your legit business, your legit email. Okay. Regarding the second question, how do you know if somebody is impersonating your email? Okay, that's a great question, because you don't know. I mean, somebody, like you mentioned, somebody in China could be sending email right now impersonating your domain, and you will never know unless you have the right configuration. Okay, let me show you this. This is our domain, and let me start with the first protocol. Okay, SPF. This is our configuration in our DNS zone. Okay, what I'm telling the world is that every time that I send an email to somebody around the world, if the MTA or the incoming email is well configured and following the right configuration, okay, they should perform 3 different requests. The first one is to request the SPF record to my DNS zone, okay, which is this string. And what the recipient email server needs to do is to validate that the IP or the source IP who is sending the email using DMARCguardian.com is configured here. You have different configurations, but you have mainly 2. You can add IP by IP, either IPv4 or IPv6, okay? Or you can include domains, okay? And then we start making lookups. What it does is, okay, I don't know what IPs are included in AmazonSays.com. We use Amazon Says, okay, to send emails. So what the recipient server does is to start doing the lookups in order to see that the source IP is included, okay, in that domain. If it is included, it says, okay, perfect. The sender is valid. It's a sender that DMARC Guardian is telling me in his SPF record that is authorized to send email on their behalf. Okay, this is the first check that the email server does. Let's go to the second. The second check that it does is, let me see if these guys, what is their DKIM key, their public key. In this case, we need to add a selector or a DKIM domain, okay? There are several standards, but the selector, you receive the selector in the email. So when you receive the email and you check the selector, you go to the DNS, my DNS zone, and then you download the public key. And then you compare the signature you mentioned. Okay? If the signature is the same, that email is authentic. Okay? Nobody changed the email from the origin until I receive it. Okay? But I don't know what to do if the email is fake, if both verifications fail. And this is when I publish the DNS record, and this is the third validation that the server does, which is download the DMARC record and check what is the policy. The policy in this case, in our case, is rejects. Okay? What the email server needs to do is to, if both SPF and DKIM fail, it needs to discard the email. Okay? The email should not be delivered. Okay? If the policy is quarantine, the email needs to be delivered in the spam folder or junk folder. If the policy is none, the email needs to be delivered, even though I am sure that the email is a spoof. Why? Because you are telling me that the policy is none, okay? We need every single customer to achieve the rejection policy, okay? But in order to understand who is sending email on my behalf, you need to configure these 2 emails mode. And this is answering your second question. When you configure your RUA, which is your aggregate reports, I receive a bunch of emails, a bunch of reports in order to build my dashboard. Okay? And with my dashboard, I am able to understand who is sending email on my behalf. Okay? And when I configure my forensic report, the forensic report is not well used at this moment, okay? But if a recipient send my forensic report, I am also able to understand, for example, what is the subject that the bad actor is using to impersonate my domain. And in some cases, I even receive the body of the email, so I can understand what is the bad actor content that is that has been sending emails to my customer. Okay, so with those reports, the aggregate report and the forensic report, DMARC Guardian is able to create this dashboard. Okay, and this dashboard is a visual representation of a JSON, which is the format that those reports arrive to our servers, okay? That in some cases could be 100 lines, thousands of lines, or even millions of that in a daily basis. We have customer that sends around 80, 90 millions email in a monthly basis. So there is no way that you can review 90 million emails in a monthly basis. This is why we have this visual representation about your outgoing email behavior, okay? So with that mode, I think I clarify both questions that you asked. I don't know if there is another question, or Nadir, if you have another question.
Yes, actually, Erasmo, there is two questions. One from
Awesome.
Hashim
Okay.
Jamallah. It is, what if the recipient doesn't apply any checks regarding SPF, DKIM, or DMARC records for the receiving email? Does the frauded email pass and land in the destined mailbox, or how will the solution overcome this?
Yes, Heshan, that's a great question. And the technology doesn't have any way to avoid that. Why? Because there are open source email servers that don't necessarily follow the RFC of SPF, DKIM, and DMARC. Okay, and also, even though this is an email server, an email security gateway that follows those three protocols, okay, you can override them, okay? And there is nothing that you can do, okay? Because every single email security gateway allows their own customer to override those rules, okay? However, you should receive the report, okay? And with the report, you can even submit a claim to that particular server, okay? Because they are overriding their policy. This is not common that you override the policy. And this is not common that you don't follow the RFC of SPF, DKIM, and DMARC. But there are certain cases that the owner of the recipient can do that, okay? But with that report, you can submit a claim, okay? Because that particular email server should send you a report. And if they override their policy, the report says that they overrided the policy, okay?
Okay, Erasmo, there is another question which is close to the first one, but okay, it's from Joe Elters, and he asks if DMARC needs both SPF and DKIM records to be active from client sites to be authenticated, and what if one record was missing? Will it check only one record and follow the email based on the authentication results, or of only that record? So
awesome question, Joe. Thank you for asking that question. Okay, what DMARC RFC tells is that one of the two protocols, either SPF and DKIM, needs to be validated in order to consider that the email is compliant with DMARC. So in that case, you need only one, okay? But there is a caveat. In order for, let me show you this really quick. In order for one of the protocols be considered as a valid, okay, you need to pass the protocol authenticator, protocol verification, plus its alignment. And the alignment is the most important concept that not everybody knows, okay? What is the alignment? Let me show you this. This matrix, okay, this risk matrix, what it tells you is that if the email pass SPF and DKIM, we want every single email in these cells because it tells you that every single email pass DKIM and SPF. But in some cases, you won't be able to configure both protocols. Why? Either because your email server doesn't allow it to do that, or the email server of the third party doesn't allow to do that, or the third party that you're using is going to charge you, because we have several customers that use just one provider to send email using 5 different domains. In fact, we have a bank who use same sender, 3 different domains, okay? And the provider told the customer, if you want to use the alignment for the 3 different domains, you need to pay 3 different tenants, okay? Because there are costs. So in that case, the customer decided, I'm not going to pay 3 different tenants. I'm going to configure the second protocol, which is the KIM, okay? What is the alignment, Joe? In order for you to comply with at least one protocol, you need to be verified that either the DKIM is configured and is the same DKIM, okay? Or the IP address is already configured and the SPF in order for the email to be SPF verified, but the headers needs to be the same. And this is the alignment. We represent alignment with these donuts. Why these headers needs to be the same? Because this is what the bad actors use in order to spoof an email. When you configure your email client, you can enter the email that you want and the name that you want, and this is not verified. However, when your email server sends an email, you cannot change the domain, okay? So in this case, the header from and the envelope from needs to be the same in order to guarantee that the emails are aligned. So in order for an email to be compliant with DMARC, it needs to be compliant with SPF and its alignment, or it needs to be compliant with DKIM and its alignment. Either way, we prefer to configure both, okay, for redundancy. Because in some cases you have failure of SPF that are not bad configuration, it's just because, I don't know, the DNS server didn't answer at that time. And then you have the redundancy protocol, DKIM, or vice versa, okay? So you need one, at least one, plus its own alignment, but the best practice is to configure both, okay? Long answer, Joe, but it allowed me to also explain and show you my dashboard, or our dashboard, okay? Any other question, Nadir or Maud?
I think we can move forward for now, unless, I don't know, maybe Muhammad have another question.
No, I don't have questions, so we can proceed, please. Please.
Use of our dashboard, okay? But the most important message that I want to transmit here is that even though you guys or configure their DNS record, okay, either SPF, DKIM, and DMARC. However, what I invite you guys and suggest you to do after this webinar, after this presentation, get in contact with our Distilogix team in order to run a test. What is the most important test that we want you guys to run is, for example, check this. This is a bank, okay? This is a bank in Germany, okay? And you can do this by your own. You can go to the MX Toolbox, which is a free tool, and then you can check every single record on your DNS. The most important is the DMARC. These guys, they have a DMARC configured, but their policy is none. They are just in a monitoring policy, but they are not sending the reports to anybody, okay? We have a tool. Let me show you here. This is my inbox. I don't mind to show you my inbox, but check that the last email that I received is today, 7:01 a.m., okay? What we can do is this. We have this tool that Distilogix has in order for them to show you if you are vulnerable or not, okay? Let me write this down. This is a test. This is a test, May 29, okay, 2024, okay? So imagine that I am a bad who is the CEO name and who is the CFO, I don't know, personal assistant, okay? And then I can, for example, try to change this and create an email trying to impersonate this bank CEO. With this tool, we can verify if your domains are vulnerable or not, okay? And if I go to my inbox, check that this is the email that I copy and pasted, okay? Check the subject, okay? This is a test May 29, the email that I just wrote, okay? And I was able to impersonate this domain. I can enter the name that I want here. So if I can do this, guys, just to show you how easy it is to impersonate an email that has no DMARC record policy in reject, imagine what a bad actor can do. They can add links, URL, they can add images, they can even attach a landing page to this email in order to impersonate this bank. Imagine if this bad actor used this template to send to, I don't know, millions of people in the country. They just need 1, 2, or 3 to fill out the form in order to get money, okay? So this is a very powerful tool that we have, and Distilogix has also to start doing these demos and this presentation to you guys in order to let you know that if you are vulnerable or not. Even though you can check yourself if you have a DMARC record with the policy not, or even quarantine. Quarantine is very important because customers, they used to think that if they are in a quarantine policy, they are protected, and they are not. Because the email will go to the junk folder. What if I check my junk folder on a daily basis and I see an email coming from my CEO? I'm going to check that email. And if that email sends me some instruction to send a payment to a bank account, I'll do it. So in that case, even though the email lands the junk folder, just because we are human and we make mistakes, I'm going to check the junk folder, and I'm going to click on that email, and I'm going to submit the wire transfer to the bad actor. So even though a customer is in a quarantine policy, they are not fully protected. They need to be in a rejection policy, okay? If they are none, easy peasy. If they don't even have a DMARC record, even better for the bad actors, okay? So to everybody, DMARC Guardian with Distilogix, we are here to help you in order to fix those problems, in order to put a shield in your email domains, the outgoing email domains, in order to protect your domain, in order to protect your reputation, in order to protect your businesses, okay?
Erasmo, we have another great question from Joe.
Yeah.
Speaking about quarantine, you want to know if can the solution block email or quarantine emails based on the body of the message, and if we add a certain pattern or keywords?
No, because our solution is just a dashboard to understand the customer behavior, okay? We rely in 3 protocols that are very well written, okay? They have, all those protocols have RFC, SPF, DKIM, and DMARC. Every single protocol does is what I explained. SPF tell the world who is an authorized sender, okay? Either by IP or by domain. DKIM is like a signature. I need to be sure that the email is not changed in the path from the sender to the receiver, okay? And DMARC, what it does is to, after validation of both protocols and their own alignment, okay, I need to make a decision. Either do not do anything, send it to a junk folder, or discard the email. That's all the 3 actions that I can do. Okay. My pleasure, Joe. Thank you so much. Any other question, any other doubt at this moment? I think we are running a little bit late 3 more times, Maud, that I think it was very helpful to show what we can do together and what the test that we can do together to our partner and also to our customer, and also to help to fix this problem, okay?
Yes, and but my just last message to you guys is that one, DMARC and email pod protection is not only about technology, it must be coupled with managed services. DMARC Guardian gives you a great dashboard in addition to managed services provided through their customer care and their periodic meetings with you guys to discuss and help you with changes on your MX records and help you catch those fraudsters and protect your domain from them. There are players in the market that do provide DMARC Guardian, DMARC and email fraud protection, but they always come with challenge. And DMARC Guardian is, to me, the perfect fit of technology, tools, services, and price. It's the perfect fit of these 4 pillars to have a successful fraud protection and email fraud protection. You don't want to pay millions of dollars every year just to be able to protect your domain from fraud. But yet you still need the most proper technology, the best tools of reporting and analytics, and the best managed services. And that's what DMARC Guardian makes and brings to the table. It's really unique with how they brought these 4 elements together. We'll be happy to support you. We'll be happy to support your customers through presentations, demonstrations, testing, technical proposals, anything else. And I'll be happy to take it forward with you guys. Okay.
Thank you, Maud, for the time to have this webinar. It was such a pleasure to talk to this list of attendees. I'm here to help. Whenever you need me, just let me know. But I am 100% sure that you will start doing this demo and this presentation to show to your customer, to your partners, how they are, okay? What is the status of their email domains? And then we can move from there to start helping our those customers and those partners too.
The webinar was recorded and our colleagues will share it with you soon. And again, thank you guys for being with us. You're the essence of every success that we have. And special thanks to the DMARC team in general and Mr. Zapata and specific for their support our region. He had to wake up really early, so we really appreciate it, man, for your support. And looking forward to working with you guys, all of you, and enjoy the great technology of DMARC Guardian.
Thank you to everybody.
Enjoy your
Have a good day.
Thank you, everyone.